is very, very sad, but we've got four pretty good teams left and two hopefully fantastic games in terms of entertainment for us. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna predict both games in detail, go through how I think they're going to unfold, and make sure you guys get in the comments below your predictions for these semi-finals, because I will react to them in the final video we do when we react to these semi-finals. But let's quickly have a look at our quarterfinal predictions and some of your quarterfinal predictions, just to see how good we were at predictions. So I said Spain would beat Germany 2-0. Spain did win, but it was 2-1 after extra time. I said France would win 2-0 versus Portugal. It was 0-0, France winning on pens. I had England, Switzerland 0-0. It was 1-1. I had Switzerland winning on pens. It was actually England who won on pens, thankfully. And then I had Netherlands beating Turkey 1-0. It was 2-1. So I actually did pretty well with my predictions. I didn't get any bang on, but I got pretty much every result right, except Switzerland winning on pens. But I did have it going to pens, which is something. As for your predictions, so Matthew said Spain would beat Germany 2-1, which is correct. He said France would beat Portugal 2-0, like I did. That was incorrect. He said England, Switzerland 0-0, and England win on pens. So just like mine, but got England on pens. Fair play there. But he said Turkey would beat Netherlands 3-1, which is a pretty bad prediction. We then had Alamar. Alamar said Germany would beat Spain 2-1. Was 2-1 the other way. He said Portugal, France 1-1. And Portugal win on pens. Very unlucky there. England to beat Switzerland 2-0. And Netherlands to beat Turkey 2-1, which he got perfectly correct, so well done on that one. We then had Harry. Harry said Spain, Germany 2-2. Spain went on pens. He said Portugal 1, France 3. Pretty off with that one. England, Switzerland 3-2. England again, not as many goals. And then 4-1 Netherlands to beat Turkey. It was 2-1 to Turkey. We had Mateus. Mateus said Spain would beat Germany 2-1. Correct. Portugal to beat France 2-0. Incorrect. We had 1-1 England, Switzerland. England winning on pens, which is completely bang on. What a prediction that is from Mateus. But he did have it 2-2 Turkey, Netherlands, Turkey winning on pens. Other predictions we had R said Spain, Germany 1-1, Spain on pens, Portugal 2, France 1, Netherlands 2, Turkey 0. Not a bad prediction there. And then England to lose 1-0 to Switzerland. CB7 said Spain, Germany 2-2, Germany win on pens, Portugal 1, France 1, Portugal win on pens, Switzerland to beat England on pens 2-2, and then Netherlands to lose 1-0 to Turkey. He predicted every single one wrong. Gosh, I had a stinker there, an absolute stinker. Okay, next up, Gus. Gus said Spain, Germany 2-2. Spain win on pens. He had Portugal 1, France 3. He had Switzerland beating England 2-1 and Netherlands beating Turkey 2-0. Not bad predictions there. We had next movie clips. Movie clips said England 1-0 in extra time versus Switzerland and 2-0 Netherlands versus Turkey. And finally, the final predictions we had was Lord of Something. Lord of Something said Germany to beat Spain 4-3 after pens, 1-1 after extra time, 2-0 France versus Portugal, 2-1 Switzerland versus England, 3-1 Netherlands Turkey. So some very mixed predictions there, but not too bad. Now it's time to predict these semi-finals though. Those were the quarters, it's time for the semis. So the first semi-final is Spain versus France. Spain versus France, which is a really interesting one because we have by far and away the best team at this tournament, the best team going forward as well, attacking wise. The best attacking side out of this tournament. I believe they have scored the most goals at the tournament, and they're coming up against the team who are the best defensive side at this tournament. Have conceded the least, conceded just one goal, and that was a penalty. So it's going to be a real clash of styles. Spain have sparkled at this tournament. France have definitely not sparkled, but they have just found a way to win and managed somehow, some way to get themselves through into this semi-final. It's going to be really intriguing. I mean, if you're just going off a base of, who's been the best team, then Spain clearly right there. They're a much better side than France right now, and you would say, oh, France are losing, Spain are winning easily. But it doesn't work like that. Football's not as simple as that. Now, one of the areas where I think Spain might have a bit of trouble is suspensions. So, Morata is not suspended. I thought he was, but luckily he is back. But in that Germany game, the big one is the defence on the right-hand side. Lenormand got a suspension, second yellow, he's out, so their right centre-back is gone. And then also the big one is Dani Carvajal. Dani Carvajal is out through suspension. Carvajal has been absolutely terrific this tournament, and he's of course coming up against Kylian Mbappe on that left-hand side. You would back Carvajal to do a pretty good job on Mbappe. He usually does really well against elite wingers, so that's a concern. And then the concern is, who comes in? Jesus Navas played against Albania. To be fair, he's actually been pretty decent when I've seen him this tournament, but he's like 37. You don't want him coming up against Mbappe. You could play Vivian from Atletico Bilbao, put him on the right, or put Nacho right back. But then again, both of them are not natural right backs, and Vivian has not played too many games of this tournament. He played against Albania, but that was about it. Nacho will play right centre back most likely, which is fine, but again, it's a little bit of a weak spot down that right hand side of Spain. And of course, the left hand side of France is their strong point with Mbappe and also Theo Hernandez bombing forward from there as well. So that's somewhere where I think France could target. That is somewhere where I think France could have joy. And also, in the air, I think France could have some joy. I mentioned it in my review of the quarterfinals where Germany had a lot of joy, Fulkrug in particular, with balls coming into the box, and aerially they dominated Spain. France, I think, could do something similar, and I would love to see Olivier Giroud get some minutes in this game. I'm not sure if he will. He hasn't really played too much this tournament, but he's very similar profile to Nicolas Fulkrug, can cause a bit of chaos in the air, and I think could do something. If not, I definitely want to see Marcus Thuram start ahead of Kolo Muani for that reason, because Thuram is a little bit bigger and can be a bit more physical than Kolo Muani is. So I do think, even though France have only scored one goal at this tournament, not even one in open play, 0 in open play, right? They scored one penalty. That was it. I actually do think this is a good chance for them to actually get an open play goal, which is a bit strange because this is of course the hardest team they're facing. But I do think Spain defensively in general have been okay, but not amazing. They've been a bit vulnerable, particularly on counter-attacks. And if you've seen like Georgia hit them on a counter and scored, if you give France that space, I would back France to do something. And with the injuries as well, suspensions, I do back France to score in this game. I think France definitely have a good chance. That being said, we're going to really see how good really that France defence is, because the France defence has been great. They've conceded one goal, and that was a penalty to Poland. Look at that, clean sheet versus Portugal, clean sheet versus Belgium, clean sheet versus Netherlands, clean sheet versus Austria. Those are all some really good sides, but none of them are as good as Spain. Spain have been by far and away the best team at this tournament. Going forward, created bucket loads of chances versus every single team they face. So, how is this France defence going to handle this Spain attack? It's going to be really intriguing. The key battle will be on the wings as well, with Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal coming up against Theo Hernandez and Jules Koundé. Those two fullbacks for me have probably been up there as the best two fullbacks at this tournament, but they're going to be put to the test here versus Yamal and Williams. We'll see who comes out on top. But for me, where this game is going to be won or lost is in the midfield. The midfield battle is going to be key because you have Fabian Ruiz in there, you have Dani Olmo, and you have Rodri. Those three have been absolutely superb this tournament and dominated everyone they've come up against. For France, you have Conte, Tchouaméni, Camavinga or Rabiot. Again, a really solid midfield in a different way in terms of defensively. They've just been absolutely superb, particularly in N'Golo Kante. So I really want to see who's going to stifle who's going to have the upper hand in that midfield, and I think that could decide this. But I think this is a really tough one to call. I think it's generally a 50-50. It's a genuine 50-50 this one. But if I have to call it, I'm going to say I think that France defence might actually have enough to hold out Spain. I really do. I really do. I think that France defence is just really good. I'm also concerned about De La Fuente in that Germany game. His substitutions were pretty poor. His in-game management was pretty poor. Whereas Deschamps has been in this situation many times, semi-final big moments. He knows what he's doing with the substitutions and stuff. So I'm gonna say France win 1-0, and beat Spain to advance to the Euro final. I think that right hand side of Spain is just gonna have a bit of problem defensively, and I think if Spain push forward a bit too much, France will eat them up with that space. And I think this is Mbappe's moment. This is the game where Mbappe needs to step up. I think I'm backing him to step up, but he hasn't been amazing this tournament. I think this could be his moment. This is his best moment. It's a semi-final. He steps up in the big games. I think he's going to do it again. Yeah, I really do. I also think Ousmane Dembele could have a big part to play here. Again, Cucurella has had a good tournament, but he's not really been tested yet, and Dembele has. Although he doesn't have the end product, he's a good player. So I think France will score, and then I think they're just going to defend for their lives and hold out. And I think their defence is good enough just about to hold off this Spain defence. So I have France win 1-0, but I could honestly see this going either way. Right, Netherlands versus England, then Netherlands versus England. So this is a game where it's a bit weird. Both of these teams are very, very similar, in my opinion. Very, very similar. They both have really good players, some good individuals in their side. You know, the Netherlands have the likes of Cody Gakpo, Xavi Simons, Memphis Depay, Van Dijk, Nathan Ake, loads of fantastic players, right? England have Bukayo Saka, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, all of these guys. But both of these teams, for whatever reason, they just don't seem to click. They don't seem to get it together. All of these players, when they play with the national team, it just doesn't gel, and they've been fairly underwhelming at this tournament, both of them. Like, probably England definitely more so than the Netherlands, but the Netherlands, you know, they finished third in their group, just about scraped past Turkey. It's not been great for them this tournament. It's not been amazing. They've had quite a few shaky moments, and of course England, we all know about how shaky we have been at this tournament and unconvincing we have been. That being said, that's why it makes for a very, very tough one to call. Again, I think this is a genuine 50-50 as well. I think both ties are 50-50s. These two are very, very evenly matched sides. And I also think they have very similar weaknesses in terms of the Netherlands. Defensively, they've had quite a few issues. Really, really bad defensively, which is ironic because they have some really good defenders. But you look here, you know, conceded versus Poland, they did manage to hold out France, but they didn't have Mbappe there, and also Griezmann had shooting boots on, Netherlands would have conceded. Austria, of course, put 3 goals past them. They did hold out Romania, but that's Romania. And then Turkey scored, and Turkey were unlucky not to get a second as well. So defensively, I do have concerns about the Netherlands. That being said, going forward, really, really good. 2 goals versus Turkey, 3 goals versus Romania, 2 versus Austria, none versus France, but as we've established, France are the best team defensively at this tournament. And then 2 versus Poland, so going forward, they can find goals, although most of those goals have been very similar to England in terms of a bit of individual magic, individual brilliance, nice piece of skill, nice piece of work from a Gakpo, from a Dubai, a route long ball to Weg or something like that, and that's where most of their goals have come from. So it's an interesting one for the Netherlands. As for England, defensively we've been okay, but not amazing, right? Like, we've conceded versus Denmark, we conceded versus Slovakia and Switzerland. We have been a little bit susceptible at the back, but maybe not as leaky and as bad as the Netherlands. That being said, we haven't been tested by an attack as good as the Netherlands have come up against. But the problem for us is going forward, we don't know how to score. Look at that, only scored more than one. Actually, we haven't even scored more than 1 goal in 90 minutes versus a team, which is absolutely shocking. And every single one of our goals has come from a bit of individual magic or a bit of luck. So it's really, really tough one to call. It's a really tough one to call. If anything, as I said, the Netherlands defensively have not been good. This is maybe our best chance to score against a team. This is our best chance as England. All of the other teams we have faced have been really quite solid defensive sides. Serbia, kind of. Denmark, very solid. Slovenia, extremely solid. Slovakia, solid. Switzerland, solid. Netherlands are the first side we come up against where I look at their defence and I'm like, okay, they've been a bit leaky. Maybe that's going to help us actually score some goals for once. But then I also am very concerned about us defensively, because as I said, Netherlands going forward have been scoring goals for fun. And us defensively, particularly against Switzerland, I was concerned because Switzerland had some really good opportunities versus us and could have easily scored at least 2 goals. So we've not really come up against a team with as good individuals and as good attacking wise as the Netherlands, which does concern me. It'd be interesting if we continue with a back three. I suppose we will, because the Netherlands also deploy a back three, so we'll probably just match them and use the same team we did versus Switzerland. Personally, I think we could potentially have some joy actually by going a bit direct in this game. I would like to see Ivan Toney play, or at least come on a bit earlier, because I think aerially Turkey showed it that the Dutch can be dominated a little bit in their games. They can also be hit on the transition very easily, so I would also, for that reason, like to see Gordon come in, so we could utilise that space they might give us with a bit of pace. But I know that's not going to happen. We're going to need our individuals to step up once again in this game. It's going to be really, really tough. This one's a really tough one to call. I am a bit worried about Weghorst though. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm a little bit worried as well. Weghorst, when he's come on for the Netherlands, they've been a changed side. I don't think Koeman's going to start him, because I think he likes using him as that sort of plan B option. But every single time he comes on, the Netherlands play fantastic. And he lumbles up to him and no one can stop him. And without Maguire at the back, aerially, we've seen set pieces. We've done nothing on set pieces, because aerially we're not that big a side anymore. So I do worry about if they, with the substitutions, actually Coman's been really, really good with the substitutions, making an impact in the last few games. I worry that it might be like a 0-0 or a 1-1, and then 70th minute, Koeman makes the changes. Of course, we know Southgate is very slow to react, so Koeman makes the changes. They change the game. Weghorst comes on, they score, and then by the time they score, it's like 85th minute, and then Southgate makes changes, and it's too late. that's my concern in this game. That is my concern. I think both teams will score. I think don't go. Look, I've been very pessimistic about England. I've been going my head over my heart the last few games. I think it's time I go with my heart over my head for once. I'm going to say 1-1. I think it will be 1-1. I think the Netherlands will definitely score against us, and I think with our individual quality, we might just be able to find a goal against, their defence, which is not very good. I think that I think it'll be kind of similar to what I said, where it might be 0-0. Netherlands make some changes second half, they score, and then we finally react with our changes, and then with those changes, with Palmer, Tony coming on, we score. I'll go for first player to score. I reckon we'll go with. Actually, we'll go to Gagbo. He's been on fire. This is where Carl Walker. He's been rubbish for this tournament. This is where he needs to step up, because the only thing he's good at is, or meant to be good at, is defensively. So we'll see what he does against Cody Gagbo, who's one of the most informed left wingers in this tournament right now. He needs to lock him up. But I think it'll be 1-1. Go to extra time. I think we'll hold out till penalties, and like I said it in my review, I don't want to jinx us, but we look pretty good from penalties. We look nice and composed. We look like we have some good penalty takers. Pickford's pretty good at saving pens. So I'm gonna say England win on pens. I'm saying England win on pens. We're playing the 4 times booster. Come on, England. Come on. I don't think we're gonna get any swashbuckling football. I'm not expecting any of that at this point. I know not to expect any of that, but I'm just hoping we can scrape our way through yet again to the final. And I mean, if this is the final, England versus France, let's go to the bracket. I mean, if this is the final, oh my gosh, for the neutral, this will be the most boring final. It could go down as the most boring final in not even Euro history, just history of football. I have a France versus England final. The repeat of what happened at the last World Cup. France knocked us out. We have a chance to get our revenge on France. Didier Deschamps and Mbappe, they have a chance to complete their double. This is the trophy that has eluded Deschamps and this France generation. Can they get it? England, of course, back-to-back Euro finals that will be, which is pretty impressive, to be fair to Southgate, even if it's in absolutely shambolic fashion. But yeah, if this is the final, it'll be a snooze fest, but in terms of narratives and that's really cool. But as I said, I could see both these games are 50-50s. If we come up against Spain, that will be a really, really interesting clash as well. I mean, the English or Spanish memes will be going crazy. They'll be going crazy everywhere. Equally, if the Netherlands face Spain, that would be incredible. Repeat of a 2014 World Cup final, right? Can Netherlands get their revenge on Spain? A lot of history between those two nations. France, Netherlands as well would be a really unique final, because of course these two teams faced each other in the group stages and then they meet each other in the final. That'll be pretty cool. I don't remember the last time that actually happened before. But yeah, I have a France-England final. I have England winning on pens versus the Netherlands. I have France beating Spain 1-0. Those are my predictions for the semi-finals. Let me know your predictions in the comments below.